everybody, and welcome to another episode of Spare Parts.
Welcome to Spare Parts.
Did you guys like that? Did you like the sound of our voices when we do kind of like radio DJ?
Radio 101 FM. They don't
like
do
it.
enough vuvuzela or whatever that's called anymore. Air horn.
Oh yeah. What did you say? Vuvuzela?
Vuvuzela? Is that
I
what
have
it's called?
no idea what that is.
You know what? Maybe the vuvuzela is the thing you see at FIFA. At like soccer games,
Okay.
which is like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we need to bring that. That's something I want more of.
Big horn.
Big horn.
Big plastic horn.
Didn't we used to always do that? This is some real 2015 shit. I used to have that app on my phone that was like, "Beow, beow, 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 beow," and I think I got it because of Letterkenny.
Doing that, yeah.
Because the boys would always be like, and then we would do it back to them as like a joke, and it became like this weird bit. And then that was one of those apps where you're like, I need to delete this.
Yeah,
That's
you know
phone.
what? That's embarrassing in a way that like this episode, St. Patrick's Day, is embarrassing. Like seeing people dressed all in green, like it's just a bit. It starts as a bit, but then you start to just do it for fun.
Can I tell you what's been on my mind lately?
I'd love to hear what's on your mind lately.
Millennials.
Okay, like are we millennials?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
we are kind of younger millennials. I guess my observation is like, wow, the trope is real and it's living within us. And I wanted to ask you, Evan, what's the most millennial thing about you, do you think?
The most millennial thing about me is that my floors are gray.
Oh, but you
don't
didn't choose that.
Want them to be gray. I didn't
You
choose
didn't
them.
choose
The
that.
millennial who lived there before me
Chose them. Yeah,
and
millennial
underneath them
gray.
is fucking asbestos. So if I'm going to take them up, I have to get asbestos remediation. Like there's a lot that goes
Right.
into. So I have to just basically live with these gray ass floors. So that's the most millennial thing about me. That and I do think do millennials care a lot or care not at all?
We care a lot.
Okay, I care a lot. Or
Yeah.
I have cared a lot. I think maybe these days I'm caring less and less, which makes me feel like I'm getting old a little bit. Like I'm
Starting
like
to
fashion.
shut down.
Yeah, I'm like, who fucking cares? Like fashion wise, I'm just like, I'm just gonna dress
yeah.
comfortably.
Yeah.
I'm just so comfortable now. Like, and something new will happen, and I'll be like, that's too much work to change my wardrobe around
Right.
that new item.
Yeah. I will say, I think, and I probably do this too, but I'm like, this isn't a bad thing. It's actually kind of funny that this is a critique that millennials are really expressive with like facial expressions.
Are you saying something to me? Is that what you're saying?
No,
about
I
me?
think you
that's the
and
most
I,
millennial thing
sometimes
about
I,
me?
sometimes I
I'm
watch us
very
on this
expressive.
podcast
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I know.
whoa, we're pulling a lot of faces, Ev.
No. Dude, I can't hide anything.
I know you can't. Well, your eyebrows, as you discussed last episode.
You know, I'm just gonna do this for the rest of the podcast. So you know what I'm thinking. Wow, I look insane without eyebrows.
You should bleach them.
Oh my god, I look terrifying.
If you
It's
were
so
to
much my
bleach your
face.
eyebrows, everyone would think that you were Gen Z. I'm just putting it out there.
You think so? I'm that young?
Yeah.
That's so nice. Thank you.
You look very young. We're at this weird age where it's like sometimes people are, like people that are our age look so much older, and then other times I'm like, you could be 21. I have no
Well, it
idea.
depends on how much work they've done. If you do a lot of work, you look way older. It's just,
Oh,
and
that is
same
a
with the
thing.
young people, man. Like 21-year-olds who have had like
I
a lot of
know,
work
I
done. I'm like,
know.
you look like my mom.
Yeah, you look like you're in your you look like a mother.
Like, it's a
Let your
thing.
faces come into themselves and enjoy
Change as they
your
change.
natural, dewy,
Smile.
gorgeous skin and smile and enjoy having some
Laugh.
expression lines because that's normal.
It is so normal to have an
Yeah,
expression. And when sometimes I
is.
talk, there's this one lady, I hope she doesn't listen to the podcast, but I kind of hope she does. She reminds me of, who am I doing? Oh, get the damn dog, asshole.
Oh,
who am I doing?
Jennifer Coolidge.
Great.
Yeah.
So there's a woman who comes into my coffee shop every day who is exactly her. And her face is like, and she's like,
Yeah.
I'll have a latte. And I know it's not her, but I love her. And I love everything she does. She's always wearing like furs. She's like a very big character, big jangly rings and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I can't imagine having a serious conversation with her. And I can't imagine her being able to express herself physically with her face. Like she can't
Right.
do anything. And I have no idea if she's 21 or 81.
Devil. Oh my God, that range.
I have no idea.
You need to maybe get your eyes
Dude,
checked.
I have no fucking clue. That's probably true.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, do
To
it.
be fair.
or else everyone's going to scream at us in the
Dude,
comments
I've
and I'm going
gotten
to cry.
so many DMs that are so mean about that.
They're like, Michelle, you totally miss Evan setting you up. I'm like, no, I got it. I just didn't take the bait because that's not what his intention was. And I'm also not a fool. Okay. So also I will say about plastic surgery, do what you need to do to feel no judgment as well.
Live your life. Get two giant horns on your head.
And
I don't care.
look, society's really fucking tough on people, especially women when it comes to aging. So like I have all the compassion in the world. Will I want to get a facelift at some point? Probably. I probably will.
Have you ever done a vampire facial? Have we talked about this?
No, but I want to. Actually, what I want to do is I want to go to Korea. I want to save up my little pennies. I want to go to Korea with like $5,000 to just spend on facial treatments. They have this one. It's like a salmon sperm facial where they inject salmon sperm.
Yum.
And then you get like a kind of a allergic reaction. Okay. And then you're beautiful.
Oh yeah. Well, once the allergy goes away and all the histamines are out of your body, you're like, I look so much better now.
I look so much better.
I'm no longer inflamed.
Whoa.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're doing crazy stuff over there that I want to be a part of.
And it's cheap, right? Like you can go and spend very little money to get a lot done. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
But if Korea's not on the budget, may I just remind everybody that I have a skincare line called Relative Skin, and now we are offering 25% off for our spare parts listeners. So
is there any salmon sperm product, or are we not?
No, because that's kind of unsafe unless you're in like a medical clinic.
I see.
So we would never do that because our skincare line is all about active ingredients, but safely done, so you're not going to have a horrible reaction. Okay. We have 3 products. I'm obsessed with the skincare line, and I can say that wholeheartedly because I'm not mixing them in my kitchen. We have a formulator. His name's Armin. He's incredible.
It's crazy. The more you say you're not mixing them in your kitchen, the more I think
the more it seems.
I just want you to know that every time you assure me that it's like done professionally, I'm like, I can see you in your bathtub with a big spoon going
like a cauldron.
Yeah, and like scooping it out one at a time, filling the little bottles, and then
that would actually really good, be. It would be kind of nice. I think it would be like a fun thing to do that, but that is unfortunately not the case.
Probably not safe.
But fortunately for you guys as the consumers. So if you are checking out relativeskin.com, no E at the end of relative, bit fun there. We had fun with forum. And then at checkout, enter spare parts 25 for 25% off. We also do free shipping anywhere in Canada and the US for orders over $100. So check us out. I know you're going to love it, and we want to hook up our spare parts listeners. So
that's nice. You guys are going to have such nice skin, and they're going to be like, how'd you get such nice skin? What happened? You're like, well, it's the podcast I listen to.
Yeah, I listened to this great podcast, and they're giving me all this sweet
hooked me up.
tea.
They hooked me up. Made in Canada.
Made in Canada. Mm-hmm. And delightful. Owned by women. So, really? Yay. How cute is that? Spare parts 25 at checkout. Yeah. Evan, should we get into St. Patrick's Day? I mean, that's kind of why we're here. Part of the reason why we're here. We also just want to chat, but like.
I would love to talk about St. Patrick's Day.
Let's talk about it.
I didn't personally do anything for St. Patrick's Day this year.
No.
Like, I don't even remember having like a Guinness. Did you go out? Did you have like a thing? A party?
No, but I'm like, my dad is very Irish, and my dad's side of the family, I should say. So I have a really strong connection to all things Irish. I wear a little St. Christopher, as we've discussed. I have a collada ring. Like I'm Irish. I'm an Irish girl. And so every St. Patrick's Day, my dad calls me, which is cute. And he says, Happy St. Patrick's Day. And he's not like a holiday person. So that's kind of the only tradition. I usually wear green, but that's happening less and less now. Because again,
feels a bit corny.
Yeah, I don't know. I like watching other people go off, and that's great. But I've never even done like a bar crawl on St. Patrick's Day, even in my early 20s. Yeah. Have you?
Oh, I used to do that all the time.
But you went to university. That feels very university.
It is pretty university. You do start it in university. And then we would I actually one St. Patrick's Day, I went to Belfast. And nobody celebrates St. Patrick's Day in Belfast. At least when we were there, it was like that was not what we were supposed to be doing there.
Yeah.
It was like not the vibe. But we had a great time. But we I love the idea of getting like a pint and going to the next place. The thing about St. Patrick's Day that's special for me, and maybe this is just an Ontario thing, the weather, it's like the first nice day of the year. Somehow every St. Patrick's Day, it's like, oh, maybe it's spring.
Maybe it's spring?
Yeah, like it's kind of warm
Yeah.
and the sun is out and you're drinking a beer during the day, so you're optimistic. It just feels good.
And then
just,
a week later it snows, which is what
Oh my
happened for
God.
you guys this year.
Dude.
I'm so sorry to hear
2
that.
days ago was crazy. The winds. So I set up a little like shed on my patio myself, very loose. You're supposed to put it into the ground. Did not do that. I'm hearing this thing fucking rattling on the patio. And I'm just like picturing somebody getting squished down below, or like a car caving in with it's a pretty big shed. Anyway, nobody died. I think it's okay.
Yeah,
I haven't
okay.
fixed it. I'm hoping there won't be any more big winds.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, I was really sad to see the snow for you guys, but then I also chuckled and went down to the beach and enjoyed the sunshine here on the
today's
West Coast.
20 degrees, dude. Who cares? We're back.
Not
We're back,
20
baby.
degrees.
Yeah, it's 20 degrees today. It's nice. For real.
That's crazy. Okay, we're not at 20 degrees. But anyways, let's not talk about the weather. Let's talk about St. Perfect's Day.
Which is the weather. Okay, so they start off and they are doing an education, basically, right?
Which
like
is
you guys are
so
taking
funny.
Yeah. You guys are taking a shot.
And again, as an Irish person, I appreciated that.
Did you? Do you feel like a personal? I feel like I don't know if we're the same amount of Irish, but I also, you and I actually have like pretty similar backgrounds, like half of us.
Yeah. I'm pretty Irish.
Aren't you like Ukrainian and Irish on one side?
I'm
is it?
all Irish on one side, and then
you're more Irish
Eastern
than me.
European Jewish on the other.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then also I'm like at the Lebanese as well. So that's the one offsetting feature.
My grandpa, who passed, he had like they did like the 23andMe thing, and there was like quite a bit of Middle Eastern coming from him.
Oh, maybe we're exactly the same.
I know. That's when you said Lebanese, I was like, well, but I don't
Lebanese.
know.
You got those eyes, the hazel eyes.
But I don't know exactly where, so I need to get confirmation
Lebanon.
on that.
It's been decided.
Okay, well,
I'm deciding you and I are distant cousins.
That makes a lot of sense.
It would make a lot of sense.
We're not siblings, but we are cousins.
Yeah, we're definitely not siblings, but we're cousins. I went to a show the other day that was doing like they were doing Serbian and Ukrainian guerrilla folk punk, and all I thought about was like Michelle would fucking love this show, and she would get super emotional.
Yeah,
it was like he kept like doing little speeches and stuff, and I was like, whoa. He was like, it was really quite good.
Thanks for thinking of me. That's a cool place to think of me.
Yeah, no, I was like, Michelle would love this. That was the first thing I thought. Yeah. Because I remember you did that whole trip to Ukraine and you had a great time. I remember you learned a lot and you had like a whole experience. And you came back and you said you said one of the craziest things you've ever said in your life. You said one of those like all the girls always say this shit. They're always like, I'm a this number here, but I'm like a this number there. You did one of those. You told me that once.
What is that? Like, I have no idea what you're saying.
In Canada, I'm like a whatever. I'm not even going to attribute you a number. But you're like, everyone in Ukraine is a model. And I just felt like I'm a slouch. Like everyone's a 10 out of 10. And I'm just like, I'm just this like.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say the reverse or something, and I was like,
"Wait, what do you mean?"
I thought you were gonna be like, I may be a 6 here, but I'm a 10 overseas." No. What? Well, that's a cheesy way that I put it, and I feel sick that I said those words because we don't assign numbers to people.
Exactly.
That's a weird fucking thing to do.
But people are hot in Ukraine, is what you're saying.
That was my point. Maybe I was is hyperbolic, I suppose. Yeah. But yeah, it was quite shocking how good looking the people were, especially the women there.
Everywhere that you are, though. I feel like every time you go overseas, like if I went to Ireland for St. Patrick's Day, I feel like everyone would be hot. I'd be like, look how hot everybody is.
Yeah.
Because I'm happy.
True. There's beautiful people everywhere. I think it was just very striking features. Yeah. And I think also I was really taken aback by, because I was in Ukraine 2018, and obviously they've been in conflict for a long time. So there was conflict happening in Crimea at the time, which was quite a long ways from where I was. I was in Kiev and Lviv and Odessa, but mostly Kiev, which was incredible. But I just was like really wowed by the people's like love for their country. Yeah. Flags everywhere, but it didn't feel like gross nationalism. It felt like really genuine. And,
civic pride rather than like weird nationalism pride, which is like, get out of here, like ostracizing people. Yeah.
And a lot of Ukraine is dealing with like, and has been dealing with like extreme poverty and conflict that's so scary. And I remember we went to this rave under a bridge that started at like 3 a.m. And we went with this girl who we met at a hostel who was like a photographer, and she just came from Crimea. And she was saying that the young people there party all night, like at these raves, while the bombs are going off because they've just been living in a war zone for so long, and they just have to escape and blow off steam.
Blow off some steam.
And it was just like really impactful for me.
I get it.
So yeah, thinking about Ukraine, praying for Ukraine, donating to Ukraine, like it's such a crazy time. I mean, so there's so much stuff going on in the world. It's like almost hard to comprehend, but yeah.
I always circle back to the idea of something like we have these holidays like St. Patrick's Day, not because we're like particularly interested in the history of what's going on with St. Patrick, but because people need to blow off steam.
True.
People need holidays. People need events. People need to look forward in the calendar during their 9 to 5 to be like, okay, here's a day where I get to go out and have fun, and it's goofy, and it's not too serious. Nothing serious is going on. And I feel like this is a good episode for that because you really get that sense of like, no one's driving. They have this random guy, Seth, come pick them up so they can go get wasted.
Yeah. And Wayne's kind of spitting facts, and we're sort of like kind of eye rolling.
Wayne. But it is nice.
Don't
nice
be
to
a
learn,
poopy pants. But it is like, and there are, and even like the Irish car bomb thing is so fucking true. That comes from such a devastating conflict, and it is kind of this like crass joke that you make at these people's expense who have been through so much trauma. But anyways,
but then you have one, and you're like, that was delicious.
Yeah, and
it all circles back around where it's kind of like, okay, let's, what else should we call it? I love taking a weird shot like that. I'm just gonna put it out there. I think any type of drop shot is like horrible 99% of the time, but on a day like St. Patrick's Day or like Christmas or some event,
Christmas with your family, give me a drop shot.
Let's have some fun. Let's do something
weird. Let me have a porn star drop shot.
Yeah, let's
give me a muff diver. That's a millennial drink.
Millennial. I haven't seen a muff diver in
10 years.
20 years. Like honestly, going to like a Jack Astor's and ordering a muff diver. It's so gross. And then the person has to like get whipped cream all over their face. Yeah, like
no one likes it. No one wants to do it. It's never fun. It's always disappointing and sticky. It's like, why did we do this?
That's life.
That's also okay. This is also what I was saying. This is where the millennial thing. I was like, what do we Letterkenny is so deeply millennial because of the drinking culture. Well, also just the time, but also the drinking culture is crazy. And millennials drank in a way that was like, I look back and I was so tame in comparison, but the damage that was done on people our age's bodies, I'm like, are we okay? Like that is not good. It's poison.
I know it's poison, but I'm also kind of like, I love living. And I feel like drinking.
Live, love, what is it?
Live, love, laugh.
Live, love,
Pretend
laugh.
like you don't even fucking know. As if, dude. You have that tattooed on your lower back.
It's here. It's all down there.
Foot in cursive.
This doesn't say nanny. It says live, laugh, love.
It's cursive. Your mom's cursive writing.
Yeah, of course. I have a sign in my bathroom and another one in my lake house.
Yeah, and your two best girlfriends have it too.
Of course.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, that to me, I was sitting on the porch yesterday. I was like having a beer. I was smoking a little CBD joint. And I was like, this is so bad for my lungs. I don't care. Like, this feels so right.
Yeah.
I feel so good to live sometimes. And I think millennials are pretty good at occasionally living like kind of there's no tomorrow. Like they do a little bit of, let's go on a fucking bar crawl and have no recourse for our actions.
Because we don't believe in our future. Yeah, no, it is it is a thing. But I do think I'm happy to see that the drinking culture is being re-examined now, because when I look at these Letterkenny episodes and I'm just, oh yeah.
I'm not the same, I don't think.
That's fair. You know what's
I
cool?
Still love to drink.
We don't have to fully agree on everything. And isn't that nice? We can still respect each other. How cool is that?
Well, it goes one way.
I think you're full of poison. I mean, no, I just think it's like in excess is crazy. Yeah. I've seen people pee their pants.
Oh, I've never
because they're so drunk.
I've never peed my pants.
Well, neither have I, but I've seen it happen to an adult.
You haven't. You weren't looking in the mirror when you saw it happen to that person?
You think that I've been drunk to the level of scary like 3-4 times in my whole life.
A huge tolerance when you start drinking.
Out of your mind. No, I don't. I don't.
Your first 2 drinks, you get very silly very quickly, but then you can have a lot of drinks.
That is incorrect.
No, it's not. When we go out, you drink, dude.
No, I don't.
You're crazy.
Get out of here. You're wrong.
I am beside you. We're ordering
No.
Par for par, spicy margaritas.
You have me.
And
You have me
drink. You could drink
confused
more
with another
than me
woman.
for
With another
sure.
woman with
I would never have
Eastern
you confused
European
with
lineage
another.
and hazel eyes. That is not me.
Is it
I
me?
wish
No.
I have one drink and I'm drunk.
No, I agree. You get there quick, but you can stay there, and I'm never worried about you.
Because I don't continue drinking. I may look like I am,
You're
but
just good at faking
I'm
it?
sipping.
Are you doing like the shot over the shoulder?
I'm like not taking it. I'm putting it down on the table. I am not drinking a lot of drinks ever.
Really?
And when I have, one of them being, I went on. Oh God! I went on the
Go on.
Mad Decent boat cruise. We left from Miami and we went to the Bahamas. It was psychotic. That's a very millennial thing. The mad decent boat cruise. And
Dude, tell me every aspect of it.
One night was so drunk that my friend Kara was on the boat with me, thank God. And she was like, you were like a rag doll. I was like flip-flopping everywhere. And then I went into my room and locked the door and fell asleep. And the person I was staying with, I locked the door and they'd forgotten their key. And they were banging on the door so loud that they thought that I was dead because I wasn't waking up. The phone was ringing next to my head. There could have been a fire. I would not have woken up.
Yeah, but if there's a fire on a boat, you're dead anyway. Who cares?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You guys are on a boat.
So at least I'm not going to be scared. I'll just be passed out. But
You'll
yeah,
just
it
be
was.
passed out.
But that's a crazy story for
crazy.
me because it's
Yeah.
so rare that would
I've never
happen.
seen you like that. I've seen you having like fun though, almost immediately. Like when you drink, you're like dancing and you're like very fun and you're like, no, you are. And you're doing bits and your little improv character. Like you go full.
Yikes.
You have fun.
like
So
to
I just
have
assumed
fun.
you were drinking a lot because we're all drinking a lot. And the boys are such idiots. When we go out on like the Letterkenny tour, I cannot express to you how many times Hersey and Nate got bottle service. And we're not bottle service girls, okay? But when you go out with them, you have to be because they've gotten a table and they've gotten bottles. So you're like out there like with them. And
it happens within 40 seconds. You're like, why do we have we've got the full, and there's a sparkler? What's going on?
Guess who's not paying for this? Us. There's no fucking way we're spending.
We didn't subscribe.
No way.
Yeah.
Give me a bottle of beer, not a bottle of vodka. What are we doing?
It's wild. Okay, back to Saint Perfect's Day. So drinking culture is ever present. And the idea is they're excited. They're having this day off. They're all ready to go. They're wearing their green. We learned some Irish history, mostly about the Troubles and like where this all comes from.
Sure. Those druids sound sick. I don't know what they were talking about, though. He's like saying they drove the snakes out of Ireland, and it turns out it was the druids.
Yeah.
They're pretty on board with agreeing that the druids were bad, but the druids sounded cool. They're like, they love animals.
What?
Like, what is a druid? When I picture a druid, I'm just picturing somebody who like worships animals and is like a pagan.
I don't know.
Yeah. History's written by the winners, right? So I don't even know about this St. Patrick, okay? I don't know shit.
Isn't that the truth? So they go to this party and then it's like jump cut to, wait, there's something that happens. Fuck.
You guys do the grenade first.
Oh yes, we take the big gross drop shot and then we go and then it's like,
what was that made of? Like, do you remember?
That's what I was gonna say.
What was
That's what I was gonna say. It was like
milk?
Because it was like a frothy. It had to look like Guinness. It was like a thick. It was one of the grosser. Usually it's just like a bit of food coloring and water, but this was
I could tell this was bad.
This was bad.
The cream looking one looked like kind of thick, but like thin.
Yeah, it was not good.
What was it?
Actually, I honestly don't know. I think it was
almond milk.
Something to that effect. But we had to do obviously like at least 5 takes. So you're drinking and it so fills up your stomach and it's not great.
And you're in the middle of the hot sun drinking this like gross
milky,
food coloring milk.
Yeah. And then we go to this party, we come back, and Katy they all look disheveled.
I thought you all looked the exact same. I was so unclear that you guys had come back the next day. Yeah. I was like, so they didn't go? Like, I didn't get you.
Maybe just because I know I noticed.
Throughout the episode, I noticed that they did a little red on your eyes. But that
and my lipstick is smeared, and my hair is also, and I'm wearing Mrs. McMurray's clothes.
I'm not very observant, I guess.
Well, I mean, maybe it's not that obvious. I don't know.
Changed clothes?
Let us know in the comments if you guys notice that. We love engagement. So then we kind of go through the night, and it's like Derry has blacked out, similar to me on the Mad Decent Boat Cruise, and he doesn't know what's happening, but he's come to, and we're all like, holy shit, you are
legendary.
And that's where the legendary lore begins.
Yeah.
And then it's like a flashback series. We go
Which
through.
I don't think we've ever had in Letterkenny,
No.
a flashback episode. I don't think we ever have since. Like, I think that's maybe the only episode. It's just a weird format for Letterkenny, but it worked.
Yeah, it's fun. And this is also one of those episodes, and I know we've said this before, there's certain episodes that are just such standalones.
Yeah.
If you had never seen the show before, if you never watch it again, you can hop into this world and just follow these people through like a party night.
Totally.
And it makes
exists
perfect
out
sense.
Of time. I think K-Trev's character, Squirrely Dan, is a particular shining star in this episode because he really does frame it all, and his storytelling. Like, K-Trev's always been a storyteller, and I think that's what they hired him as originally. And so to have this format, it like really works. Where he's like, and then I look over at the bar and I've got a sandwich in my hand, and Ms. McMurray's looking particularly
a
comely.
sandwich in my hand.
It's like just like
I don't like
really
I don't
there.
like calling a girl comely.
Yeah, that's creepy to me too. But at the same time,
I know it's very old fashioned, but I'm like, ew.
Yeah, ew. Yeah.
Ew. Derry's. I need to talk about. Well, I need to talk about Nate's performance.
Nate's
because
got
I remember this
body performance.
His dancing in this episode. I just remember him reading it. I remember like the whole process. Yeah, I think he practiced for like, I think he knew it was coming, and he got his moves. Yeah, he got his like weirdest moves together. He'll have to confirm when he comes on at some point, but he was like so prepared. I just remember him like everyone losing their minds anytime he started dancing, being like, I've never seen somebody move their body that way.
His knees are broken inwards.
He's got pterodactyl hands. He's doing the craziest like leg things. It's so good.
When
it's
they
so
hold him
funny.
up at the end, he goes ragdoll and he's bouncing on their arms and shoulders. I can only imagine how much damage that did to like Kiso's and McMurray's back, like Petronevich, like they were holding him and he's full ragdoll.
They're fucking jacked, bro.
All right.
They didn't even feel it, dude.
Watching that, it hurt me. So I was like, I gotta fucking taking a breath. Yeah.
Nate's physicality in this episode
Genius.
is like incredible.
It's probably one of his best episodes. This might be like one of his top episodes.
Well, what I love about it, what I love about Nate just as a human being is the guy moves different. He moves through life different. I've said this before. I've never met somebody like Nate ever.
He's an original.
And he's such an original, and this showcases it like so well. He just has really different instincts than other people. And
I know. I kind of wish we had him on for this episode just to like talk about, because it is so weird and so him. Yeah. It is a very him episode. It feels like not even just like a Daryl episode. It feels like a Nate episode.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's great. And then of course hockey. Their
dude,
security,
when they're chanting, we can't
sense.
Get kicked out while they're taking shots.
I miss that. That's
like, we can't get kicked out. We can't get kicked out. I was like,
oh my gosh,
this is genius. It's a brilliant. It's a brilliant.
I think it is also like episode. It reminds me. Did you ever see Firefest or like any of those like festival gone wrong documentaries like Woodstock '99?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like when I see those documentaries, the security team, you're like, what is this ragtag? What are the credentials here? Like, you're taking care of us? Okay, this is not going to be good. I also feel like that kind of like we need to take it from this level to has been like memed so many times. I feel like I've been seeing that for like the last 6 years constantly. Like it crops up every few months of Dylan doing that.
It's a pretty good bet.
There's so much like original like stuff. Again, the lore, but like this episode really does put a lot out there.
It really does. I have so many specific moments that I want to talk about. One being you coming in slow-mo.
Yeah.
Looking back on that, I just wish I was in the same room as you while you were watching it. Because while I was watching it, I was like, it's like a 4-minute sequence.
It couldn't be longer.
It never ends. It's you walking in and that everything else is happening around you. Like
The
all
music.
the music is swelling. The
Yeah.
security's holding back the D-gens because they can't. They're getting feral over Katy.
Yeah.
Like it's this whole thing, and
The
unzipping your
sucker.
jacket and throwing it on the ground and sucking on the sucker.
And like, it's also, so this was a big day for having extras on set. And usually Letterkenny, we didn't have a lot of extras. It was just us and the crew, which is always like preferable because
it's hard to wrangle 80 extra people.
Yeah.
And act in front of 80 extra people.
Exactly. The wrangling aside, like that's not my department. So I don't care to think of it, but
not my job. Not my pig, not my farm.
Not my pig, not my farm. But performing in front of that many people just adds like a whole other level of anxiety. And I just remember like, fuck, this little teensy outfit, and I have to do this sexy slow-mo walk in front of all these people that I don't know that are like my age. And I felt so embarrassed too.
That's kind of a bummer. I pictured it as like you got inspired because you look super confident. Like it's impossible for me to imagine doing that sequence on myself. But you doing it, like you pulled it off, like it was a 4-minute sequence. And I was never for a second like, oh, she looks uncomfortable.
Well,
I never thought that for even a moment. I was like, damn, she is like performing right now. Cause you're like,
it's very, like, I'm peacocking.
Fucking peacock. And then with the sucker, and then you looking over at Mrs. McMurray and her looking at you and you being like,
her grabbing her breast and lifting up her one breast.
She's so funny. There's no way that was in the script.
Funny. No,
there was not. It wasn't like she
Jared would never
herself.
write that.
No, he would never. And Melanie was just definitely like,
yeah, and it worked. And Katy was in. I also like this kind of just like very confidently being like in front of her brother and her friends. I wanted to get laid. And she's just like, this is what I love so much about Katy. We just couldn't be more different. She just is.
You would never talk about sex in front of your brother.
Or really anyone.
No, I know, but especially in front of your brother.
Especially, God. It's just, she's just so unbothered. And this is a perfect example. But yeah, the walk was tough. But then like Mel made it so funny and kind of like lightened the mood a little bit. So it wasn't like, oh, sexy girl energy. She like looks so beautiful and so hot. And then she just makes it like incredibly funny.
Without her there, it would maybe be weird.
Or if I was doing that with a guy, it would have been like
way too much. But as a result, it was like a punchline. Like there was a comedic punchline, and it totally works.
Can we also just talk about how cute K-Trev looks as...
He's adorable as the Pitter Patty. I loved it. Oh my God. Like, I don't think I've seen this episode because all I could think while he changed into the costume was like, he looks great. He looks like his little eyes.
He's twinkling. He looks like if I was a child and I saw him, I'd be like, he lives in a tree. He makes shoes.
And he's happy about it.
And he's like a mystical elf, perfect boy who I want to like talk to and like fly around with.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think he should wear a hat like that regularly. It looks
really nice on him.
I don't think anyone could pull off a top hat, but I think he actually can.
Yeah. No, it's so cute. And then we got the back and forth. Derry keeps kind of like coming in and having these big fights and saving the day. And then all the while this is happening, we've got McMurray and Wayne outside having a smoke. And then, what is the line that he always says? Like, where it's like, Derry always goes, where were you? And I remember shooting this because as the day devolved, which happened often when we have to, kind of phrase or word that we kept saying over and over, it would devolve into no more words, just sounds. So it'd be like, where are you? And then at the end of the day, it was Nate being like, yeah. And then they would just make each other laugh.
Right.
And that's kind of, I just like, it's funny, these like little jogging memory things. I'm like, that was a constant thing. Like we would just end up not speaking English. Where are you?
Oh yeah. Having a dart lately.
And I mean, we love a McMurray Wayne.
Dude, they're great.
Very uncomfortable standoff between the two of them.
Yeah, they have a nice little patter in this one. I like the way it's broken down. As like you said before, it's such an accessible episode. It feels like anyone could watch it because it is such a clear like A, B, C. Here's what's happening, and I think part of that is their like McMurray Wayne's back and forth. Like they clearly delineate as McMurray gets angrier to the point where Wayne has to go in and fight, right? Like that's
Right. Yeah.
And the skids don't say a fucking word.
I was going to say.
We don't speak the whole episode, but we dance the whole episode.
But you dance the whole episode and it gets more and more. And then is this the first time that we see the pumping, the arm pumping?
I choreographed that. That was like,
see, and that's why you need a choreography credit.
That was one of those episodes that they're like, what are we going to do here? We're just supposed to be on the stage the whole time. I was like, well, if we all do the same thing, it'll probably look good. And then so like, well, what should we do? And I was like, I don't know, like
great
this.
Choreography
and then like this, and then we're gonna do like a.
And it's funny because this is De Jordy's final episode, and we just get to see him dance, which is like, look, you guys are great, and it's also, I think it would have been. There's so much going on in this episode. You serve what you're there to do perfectly. You execute it perfectly. It's very funny. I love the line that K-Trev has about like the skids are playing a song that I hated and then grew to enjoy. And that just feels so like that resonates so much when you're at like a club or sort of like an EDM where you're like, God, what is this? And then you're like,
actually, you know what?
You know what?
Oh,
okay.
Shit, fuck. Okay.
You download it.
We were standing on the stage all day watching you guys work. So again, much like the, not to jump ahead here, final episode of Letterkenny.
Oh God.
But we were watching the entire ag hall. And so we saw your walk in, we saw everything. And we're just essentially like observers.
Yeah.
Incredible amount of people in that room. Like with the extras all involved in everything. And it was also like, people don't know this when you film a scene like this, but it's dead quiet.
Oh,
so when
there's
Michelle's walking in,
silent,
and there's 150 people in the room going, oh my God, they're all going, and Michelle's complete silence.
Yeah. And I just have to, and everyone can just hear my breath going like this.
And the sound of her jacket hitting the ground.
And then I go on a sucker, and everyone has to hear that full volume.
I wish they just would film every show with just an iPhone also. Just so that we can see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like, just see what these scenes look like.
I think that would bum everybody out.
I think it would too. Yeah,
it's a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it is a bummer.
Did you guys went into the bathroom at some point?
Kissed. We presume. There was
I assume you guys had sex.
Look, if you want to
you
go
came
there,
out. You came out. You went like this. You zipped up. One of you zipped up your pants.
I zipped up my pants
with your mouth.
And then she tries to kind of, which I'm also like, Katy. She tries at the very end, kind of be like, hey, have a little after intimacy connection. Katy's like,
dude, you roll your eyes.
I know.
You go like this.
It's kind of one of the meanest moments Katy has.
Really mean. You fucking used her and left. You're
I know,
Get
but
out of here.
Mrs. McMurray is completely unfazed as well. Like she's just kind of like happy it happened, which I think is cute. And again, she turns around and makes it all okay.
There's something about that smudged makeup look that's very upsetting to me. Like lipstick across the cheeks.
You don't
like that? It's very like, it just makes me think of like someone screaming on the street.
Oh.
Like I don't get like hot makeout. Because
I'm like danger.
I'm like danger. Like this person's gonna do like this is I have to be careful.
Well, you're a high anxiety guy after all, so it sort of makes sense.
God damn it.
All right, the crescendo of St. Perfect's Day is
the big fight with the DJs.
The big fight, which is so cartoon, where it's like, I also feel like this was another episode that we shot in one day or something crazy, or maybe 2 days. We did the farm.
I think it was 2 days, and it was like non-stop.
They definitely were like, well, we
days.
got to do a fight now, but we can't get stunts in because we just literally can't. So it's just like a jump up, and then they just do like
I
these
loved that,
really
though.
silly punches that are, I loved it too. It's really
makes
funny.
It feel way less like, I don't want to say mean because it sounds like I'm being a little baby, but like sometimes the fights are a little brutal. Like the native flu episode, I was like, this fight like is like kind of gnarly to watch. Yeah. I like seeing just like it's a cartoon, it's a joke. They're fighting a fucking giant sandwich. Like
exactly, it's got to be silly, and then they do a big celebratory ragdoll on shoulders dance, boy dance off, I guess. Yeah, but it's a boy dance. Not with the boys, sadly. And they're all together, and we've got the cute moment where it's like hockey hands Jared a shot, and he accepts it, and it's kind of these nice moments when they're all together, when they can kind of stop being enemies and just be like friends.
Yeah,
in
they
this, in this
unify against
moment.
the larger enemy
The
at work
degens.
here. The degens. The vague
God, the weird like external threat,
from up
constant
country.
threat.
What the fuck is
What's
up country?
that?
What
does
do
that
you mean? Aren't
If
we up country?
If anyone's listening and you are from a rural
Mm-hmm.
place such as Letterkenny, we should know this, but what is upcountry and where is it and who is it?
How rural?
Is
Like,
that
are you
a
guys
thing?
off-grid?
Is that a
these guys look like
thing?
city people, but they're not. They're clearly even more degen. Like they're like marrying their cousins and stuff is the idea. But they didn't really look like that.
No, it's like, are they? Yeah, like if we are Hicks, what are they?
What are they? They're degens.
I know, but like, is it just like, I need
It's
more
like the
information.
plot of the entire last season of the show.
Yeah. Which I do get, but I'm like, is this a real thing? I guess there's always you know what? Okay. So I grew up in Ladysmith, which is on Vancouver Island, which is a very small town. But then we would have, and this is kind of awful to say, but I hope it's okay. But we would have the kids come into our school from Cassidy.
Ooh, not the Cassidy kids.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Cassidy and Cedar and
degens.
Degens, kind of. Well, that's how they were known as like as a group. Obviously, individually, no, like just people, but that was kind of a thing. It was like, like the Cassidy kids are like really good at fighting, and like they're kind of scary, and like there was that separation. So I guess I just answered my own question.
Would they show up to like your school dances and stuff?
Well, they were at our school, but we were in Ladysmith, and they would have to bus in from a little bit further out. Like they're kind of more so in the sticks. We're in small rural town, but they're like really in the sticks. And also Cedar couldn't be more beautiful. It's like waterfront property.
Maybe
you
have more in common with Katy than you think you do.
Huh.
Maybe you are a small you're closer to Katy and like this than I am to the Skids for sure. Like you at least grew up in this. How many people were in your town growing up?
Like 10, 15,000? Oh, I know. It's not lost on me. But the town wasn't rural. It was a small town, but it was like,
it's like a retirement community?
No, I mean, it's like very pretty. It's the home of Pamela Anderson. She lives there to this day. You didn't know that?
No. You ever run into Pam?
I've seen her many times.
Really?
I know where
many
her house
times?
is. Yeah, when she was married to Kid Rock, she used to be grocery shopping at like the 49th parallel when we just like see them walking around. It's very weird.
It's wild how different they've gone. Like I feel like Pamela Anderson's become like a much cooler person over time, and Kid Rock has just gotten worse
really
and worse.
Devolved,
It's like they've really kind of separated those two.
I mean, that doesn't shock me.
No, I guess not. She's cool. She's like no makeup now and stuff, right? Isn't she? Like she goes on red carpets with no makeup and like is like fuck you.
She's
Do what I want.
I'm so happy to see this like resurgence of her and her kind of reclaiming her story and how she was treated in the 90s and early 2000s because she was treated horribly.
Yeah.
Obviously. And it's just nice to see her having this like.
I loved VIP.
What?
Her show, VIP.
What's her show, VIP?
Value Iron's Protection Services? You never watched VIP?
No.
Oh my God, you have to. It was on
What
Spike
era
TV.
is
It's from the late 90s. It's Pamela Anderson is the head of a personal bodyguard service. And she would go, and it was like amazing. It was like it's like a Steven Seagal thing meets Baywatch. It was ridiculous. As a kid, I was like very horny for it and very confused. But I was also like, this is sick action.
Cool. Okay,
And it was funny. Like Bryan Cranston is like the villain in the pilot episode. Yeah.
Well, then I got to see it.
The fact that you don't know VIP, I'm like, I don't even know what's going on right now. Like you.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I missed it.
You should watch a trailer after this just to see it. Honestly, yeah.
Well, love Pam. But anyways,
so
yeah. So maybe there are some more. But like, I also will say, small town BC is very different than small town Ontario, which is where Letterkenny takes place, obviously. So
that's fair. That's fair.
So to wrap up St. Perfect's Day.
Okay.
I think there's this very funny thing at the end that's like maybe funnier to me because I know the like backstory a little bit, but the hee-haw, like right down the lens at the end when it's like come up the laneway. Okay.
Yeah. When they do that little blow up noise that they do.
That was an inside joke between Jared and Nate, who have been friends for so long. And I'm like, I don't know how long they've been doing that, but just a cute little write-in that just kept happening. And it's so weird. And I don't know if anyone that's listening or watching the show liked that or thought it was funny or just
It
thought it
does
was
seem
like, what the fuck was that?
completely out of nowhere. It's
It's out
for
of
those of you who are
nowhere.
wondering what we're talking about, it's like the kind of sometimes
"Hip
Derry
y'all."
gets to a place where he goes, get the goddamn, like he gets really loud and starts screaming. And then
Yeah.
K-Trev does one too, and it was really good.
Yeah.
K-Trev does a, but I always
so
noticed that was
weird.
very strange. Definitely
I
not
think-
written in.
No, and I feel like
No.
that's the first time we see it, and it does crop up over time. So, anyways, great episode for just the lore. Great episode as a standalone. Really fun, like musical sequence with you guys dancing, with Derry dancing. My slow-mo walk was a bit uncomfortable for me, but kind of like fun and bizarro in its own way.
Not your
it's a
last
great
slow-mo walk either. Like,
no, one of the first of many.
Yeah.
Many.
Did they ask you to do that noise at all? Like the no, no, you didn't.
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I don't think I ever do it or it was asked to do it.
Just curious.
Should we go into it? Oh.
Before we go over to Spare Hearts, I just want to know, this is the first time we see you guys jumping into the back of a truck. And this becomes kind of like a thing throughout the show where we start to sit in the back of trucks a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have a memory of this first time you sat in a truck or no? It's not one of those.
Like
I
on
remember
set?
because I remember the last time we sat in the back of a truck,
Yeah.
and it was like so emotional. I remember all of us sitting back there and like really talking about it. Like Dylan was like all like teary.
I've got pictures of that.
Do you? Okay. So do you remember the first time?
I just remember like it's kind of a bit nerve-wracking because you're like, there's no seat belts, like not to sound like so.
We didn't have cops blocking the road at that time. We didn't even have that yet. Yeah.
But it was, I don't know. I wish I had something better to say. I don't feel much about it.
Okay.
It's the truth.
On to Spare Hearts. Do you
Let's
have
go
a
into
question?
Spare Hearts. No, but let's find one really quick.
Great. Okay, so we've got this one. You ready? Hi, Evan and Michelle. I love the pod so far. I am a sucker for the advice segments of Spare Hearts, and it's such a great end to the episode each time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have been rewatching Letterkenny along with you and love going down memory lane in real time with the cast. This is extremely sweet. Thank you for this lead into the question. My question is, I have a huge crush on this girl who I see sometimes during parties and live music events. She plays in this great local band. And then mentions the name of the band if you want to shout them out on the pod, but I feel like this is too...
Shout them out on the pod. They gave us permission.
I know, but like this is someone giving, like, we're allowed to shout out this band on the pod of the person he has a crush on.
Okay, yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Like, do the work. You have to go tell this person. I'm like, because that's yeah. But I don't know how to tell her about this crush, or even if I should. Should I let her know outright if we don't know each other that well? She is so cool, it's intimidating, if that gives you some idea. Any help will be appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so this guy has a crush on a girl who's in a local band. It seems like a small town if they've like run into each other a bunch of times during parties and live events. So I'm going to assume it's a smaller, like they're part of your community. And you think that they're even within the realm of being able to talk to. So I'm going to assume you're like within the right age range, within the right social circle. Like I think you guys have the same interests, music, etc.
Yeah, I think you don't need to tell her you have a crush on her. You should just ask
you're
her
not
out.
13. You should ask her out for a drink or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't
buy her
go,
a drink after a
I
show.
have a crush on you, and then just watch her react. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You should write on a note.
Yeah. Yes.
You have a crush on me.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think that this is kind of just the question is, how do you ask a girl out? How do you prefer to be asked out, Michelle? When somebody asks you out, like what's the thing that works the most of the time?
I think it's like, I understand going like a little bit like low and slow, like befriending on social media first, maybe like responding to their story.
But
like
then you have to have a good social media presence.
Yeah, and if you don't, that's okay too.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so say social media is off the table, and you can't go through friends or whatever. A simple, I would love to take you out for a drink sometime. Can I get your number?
Yeah.
That's great. It's flattering. Yeah. It tells what your intentions are, that it's not just like, we should hang out sometimes. I hate that.
Yeah, too
that's a cop out.
Pick a day. Pick a date.
Well, first be like, hey, I'd love to take you out. Don't say a drink. I'd love to take you out sometime. Could we exchange numbers?
Do you like food? Do you want to get food together?
Yeah. And then once numbers are exchanged and she's like, consented to that, then we can start being like, would you like to go to dinner this Saturday, or do you want to go for a coffee, or whatever your tea is? Do that.
Yeah. One of the things we'll prod a little bit more about this question is he's intimidated by her. Is there anything he can do to be less intimidated or to like, no. Nope.
Sometimes you're just intimidated by people.
Sometimes you're intimidated.
That's okay.
Is it okay to say you're intimidated? I'm very intimidated talking to you.
People respond well to confidence, and you don't have to be like cocky, but I would just make your intentions known that you're interested. That's flattering. That's sweet.
Without being a creep.
But don't be like, I'm so nervous I have a crush on you. Like, that's crazy. Don't do that.
Have people done that to you? Have you been on the receiving end of that?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I just like when you here's the truth. Everybody's intimidated around the person that they have like a crush on.
That's true. Like, and you seem way crazier in your own mind than you appear to be. Like you feel like you're sweating out of your eyes when you're talking to someone you have a crush on and like you're stammering. You're probably not.
Yeah, you're fine.
You're probably fine. And they're probably also a little bit nervous because you're talking to them. Like it's like a spider. Like they're more afraid of you than you are of them. So try and make them feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, say whatever you can to be like, hey, I really loved your show tonight. It was great. Can I buy you a drink? Like,
that's cute.
You know what I mean? Keep it low key. Don't even be like,
low
you
key.
Low
but
key.
I do think like expressing your intentions in a chill way is also really nice, because then the girl isn't like, this is so ambiguous. And if she's interested, she'll be like, yeah. And if not, you'll know quickly too.
Do you like a coffee date, Michelle? How do you feel about a daytime coffee date? First date?
It's a bit of a cop-out.
Really? I find them way too intense.
Okay, well, yes, that too.
Because it's like interview style.
I don't want to be in the daylight with somebody.
And also you might have to use the bathroom.
Yeah, hey.
You're drinking a coffee.
Fair enough.
In the day.
Okay, when I was like single last, this guy got my number from my cousin, and it was like this sort of person that I kind of had met in passing. Mm-hmm. And he texted me, and he was like, novels of like chat, like I really want to take you out, like whatever. But I was like, I was single, and I was like, you know what, like I should go on some dates, whatever. He's like, okay, like next Sunday, and he suggested we go for a daytime picnic with my dog to like oversee this beautiful the sunset.
Romantic,
but like with food and stuff. And in my head, I was kind of like, that's a lot, but okay, I'm just gonna like
romantic
and like too much, to be honest.
Did he bring like a basket?
Just wait. So Sunday comes, or I cannot express, like he was so chatty, his intentions. I want to take you. This is what we're gonna do. Here, and here. I'm gonna bring this. I can't wait. Like I'll pick you up, and then I just never heard from him again.
What? Did you confirm like he didn't get in a terrible accident? Like is he still alive?
And then I heard from mutual friends that he just went way overboard and realized he couldn't deliver and had like, and kind of freaked out, and then just like disappeared and just won't ever talk about it.
Oh, I feel sick.
Don't go too crazy and like bite off more than you can chew, and then bail on somebody that you might have wanted to like meet, you know? I mean, or he was like, oh, I'm actually like not interested.
Yeah, right.
But like, who fucking knows?
It sounds like he overpromised and freaked out, and then like he's gonna listen to this podcast and freak out again. He's gonna be like, I'm sure he
couldn't care less, but like it was.
But imagine if he heard this story.
I was just like, why the hell would you?
Well, because I get
that?
It. No, but I'm gonna come out and defend his like first move, which is the like over promising. I do that shit all the time. Not anymore. I'm married now, but I would all the time be like, we're gonna go to a spa, and then we're gonna like, and I would follow through. Like I would try really hard, and it would always end up being like way more effort than I should have put in. Like the person's always kind of freaked out by it.
Well, yeah, because it's
not
not like. It's not appropriate yet.
No,
we're
it's not. But you think
in a relationship.
Everything on television though tells me or has told me that the bigger the gesture, the more I care. So I understand this guy.
I I know.
He should have made the picnic, to be fair. Like if he said he was going to do it, he should have at least done that.
Yeah, it was just so like I don't know what happened. It was very weird though, and especially because he's like friends with my cousin.
Oh,
and
it's so weird. Like,
and like, well, I've never seen him again. We don't like. It's all fine, but it's just really funny. And I guess, yeah, I don't know what happened, but it was so strange because he was like. He was making all the jokes, responding within like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
He was doing all the things. And it's like one thing to get ghosted. Like that's like that shit happens all the time. But to have this full elaborate plan that I just was like, my hands are up. I'm just going to let you create this plan. And I'm happy to attend this date that you're so like fixated on. And then he just like vanishes like a ghost. It was so funny.
I can relate to this though. So I do understand. I've never like bailed on anyone like that, but I've definitely like not over promised, but like been like way too big of a first date.
Yeah.
I've definitely done that.
So to our lovely, lovely person who wrote in, just keep it chill while also expressing that you would love to hang out sometimes, take her out sometime. Like you don't have to be like, on Saturday, I'd love to take you for a 5-course meal.
No,
just
exactly.
be like, I'd love to see you sometime. Could I get your number? Like that's totally sweet and really approachable. My
first date with my wife was just like, hey, do you want to go grab a drink? It's the most low-key thing in the world.
That's what Connor and I did too.
So low-key, chat a little bit, see if you vibe. Because like a date isn't like you trying to convince the other person to like you. Mm-hmm. It's trying to see if you guys work well together. It's mutual. It's not like you're never trying to convince anybody else of anything. It's like, do I like you? Do we like each other?
Yeah, like is this feeling kind of like easy conversation?
Do we have chemistry? Do you smell good?
Do you smell good? Let me smell your head.
Let me smell your hair a little bit. Also, definitely smell good. Go put on something nice. Find a nice, but not too much.
Yeah,
and just here.
Okay, listen. Spray. Wait. Walk through.
Oh, you do that? You do that one?
Yeah.
I do the neck and the neck, and then people only really smell it when they hug me.
Intimate.
They get in here, and then they go.
Do we have chemistry?
Do I love you? Yeah. Or like when they borrow my sweater. All my sweaters smell unbelievable right at the neck.
What do you wear? Are you willing to share that?
Yeah, I wear Terre d'Hermès, which is a unisex fragrance, and it works really nicely on my clothes. Sometimes it can be a bit like acidic on my neck, like it can kind of change a little bit, like the smell.
Acidic on my neck.
I started wearing it though because a girl that I had a crush on like wore it, and it smelled amazing on her. And then I have this weird thing where I'm like, sometimes people who I have crushes on, I want to like be them, like a little bit, like in some weird way. I'm like, you're cool. I want to be cool like you.
Yeah.
And so I started wearing it like years and years later when we're just friends.
Right.
And it smells completely different on me than it did on her. Like it's just it's like just different flavor. But people like it. People like Terre d'Hermès. It's a very easy, accessible, piney, woodsy, musky fragrance.
Cool. I've never really heard of it.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I've tried almost every fragrance at like Holt Renfrew. I'll go through and I'll spray something and then let it sit. And it'll ruin the rest of my day.
Of course.
I'll smell it all day and I'll be like, oh, what is that?
Sickening. Yeah.
Yeah. And it smells so good in the bottle, but
when
not
you
on
don't
me.
like a scent on you, it's tough.
Yeah. It smells like your coked out uncle. Like I'm like, who is this? Like right here next to my face.
Jeff Bezos with a bunch of ladies.
Wearing Cartier, Musk de Cartier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. What do you wear? You didn't tell me what you wore.
I switch it up, but you know what I have been wearing since grade 8?
Don't tell me you wear a fucking crystal. Like you like do like natural crystal rubbing.
No, Evan.
Okay. All right.
So my stepmom came into my life when I was like in middle school and she is like this like chic city girl and I was flabbergasted by her. And she bought me Chance Chanel perfume in grade 8. And so that was like my signature scent, whatever, for myself. No one clocked it, of course, all throughout high school.
But they did.
But because, and then I started wearing it again. And when I went back home to visit some friends, they were like, whoa, people that I hadn't seen in a long time were like, I just like am completely taken back to you in high school. That's so weird. It's Chance Chanel, which I don't wear a perfume very often, and I kind of switched it up. I weirdly got on some kind of like PR list, and now I get sent all these perfumes by YSL. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I'm on this list.
Yo, how'd
but
you get
I
on
am.
this list? That's sick.
You should see how many blushes and lip glosses I have from YSL. It's like obscene.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I gotta get me on a perfume list. That's awesome.
Yeah, and they sent one that was like a guy girl, and so Connor took one, and it smells great on him.
Does
and
it?
I got
Okay,
the other
that's
one. Yeah, he actually really liked it, which is always you never know, right? But it's really nice.
Most perfumes have like a very, I would say, divisive reaction. Like some, like you spray it and it's like you either hate it or you love it. Like it's like perfume for me is a very strong, like it doesn't like warm. You don't kind of like warm up to it. At least I don't. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I got
spray
sent this
something
one by Replica, Maison
Okay.
Margiela's
Yeah,
Replica, whatever, and it smells like sunscreen from the 90s.
Cool.
And I love it.
Yeah, that's
Speaking
nice.
of
Nostalgia.
Letterkenny Banana Boat.
Banana boat. No,
It's
and that's
kind of
true.
banana boat. And
I
I'm
love
like,
that
I
smell.
like this a lot. And I feel like some people would hate it, but I love it.
I wear the
So maybe
Hawaiian
that'll be my
Tropic
summer scent.
sometimes, and it smells just like it smells like a beautiful day. It smells like I'm out there having fun. Once again, beautiful day, having a beer in the sun. Nothing quite like it.
Patty's Day.
St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, so the person writing it also smell good. And that's our last piece of advice because that's all you
Smell
can
good.
do and the rest is up to the universe or whatever.
Smell good, make eye contact, be curious,
Be sweetie pie.
be sweetie pie.
Yep.
And
That's a good
don't
poem.
be a creep. Don't be a fucking weirdo.
No, don't talk about bottle service. What else?
Don't over message them. Like once you do make contact, get it off of the texting as quickly as possible. See the person. You don't want to get caught up in this like romantic love affair over messaging because that's not real. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not real.
It's not real. It may seem
You
real.
don't know until you see them. And don't promise a picnic date with their dog and a bottle of wine and a view and a sunset and then never talk to them again.
Or do exactly that. And then, but bring them on that date
but maybe bring them on the
really creep them out. Yeah, I think there's a lot of cool, cute date ideas that are out there that are just as casual. Like you guys could go bowling or mini golf or any of those classic things. It's probably pretty fun. I don't know.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Doesn't
Get
have
out
to be
there.
like full picnic on a fucking sunset beach or whatever.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank
guys.
you for writing in. This is a very cute episode, and I think this one St. Perfect's Day is probably my favorite of the holiday episodes. Just because it's so fun to shoot.
It was fun.
And I just think it's like it's kind of got really fun basic plot points, but then there's some meaningful information, and it's cute. I like it. I like it.
I
a
like
lot.
this episode a lot too. Thanks for listening, guys. Please rate and subscribe to the podcast because it helps us a lot, and we love that you guys have access to this on video now. So make sure you leave comments on the YouTube video so that we know you want us to keep making this on this, so you can see us.
Yeah, and tell your friends too, because it's a great way to get new.
Everyone has to go out and tell
listeners.
2 friends, just like an MLM. You have
Just
to go.
like we are a pyramid scheme, and we're
Every one of
happy
you.
about it. We're
Right? Tag 2
comfortable with
friends
that.
in the comments.
Yeah, and then maybe you'll get a shout out. Well,
Yeah.
what you will get though is
25% off at relativeskin.ca. .ca or .com?
.com. No E at the end of relative. I know that's confusing, but it's all over my Instagram. Just check that out. And it's spare parts 25.
Oh, I thought you were okay. But also, guys, send us questions at sparepartspod@gmail.com because we need more questions.
We need some more questions. Yeah.
We have-
and I'm
there-
still looking for kink. I'm still looking for some
Still
kink.
looking for some kink.
Okay, guys, we love you. Thank you so
Love
much,
you.
Evan. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Bye.